Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is David. Today we'll be discussing what climate change is. I am not a professor within related fields of environmental science or sustainability. However, I am a young man who is very dedicated and passionate about serving nature. In these podcasts, I will discuss factual information that I've learnt from reading books and browsing the internet, along with my authentic feelings and thoughts towards the topic. What is climate change? The literal definition of climate change is long-term changes in temperature and weather or weather patterns. Now, I'm sure that when you were in school, for example, I think it would have been geography class, the teacher would always so seriously and importantly let you know that there is a difference between climate and I think it was weather. Weather being the short term way the environment behaves, you could say. So, like, what's the weather tomorrow? Short term, right? But climate would be the long term way the weather behaves. The climate in Spain is warm and dry, right? It's warm and dry for most of the time throughout the year. Or the climate in Great Britain is wet and cloudy. But the weather tomorrow in Great Britain might be sunny spells with clear skies, possibly. Now, that's the literal definition of climate change. Actually, I'll delve into that topic a bit more. Climate change, it refers to a change. It doesn't exactly refer to an increase in the average global temperature. And this is important because it means climate change could occur when the average global temperature is decreasing, but in our case, it's not. Now, I'm going to speak about the metaphorical definition of climate change. Personally and metaphorically speaking, climate change is nature and planet Earth telling us humans, that we are interacting with it in a dangerous way, that our relationship with it is not one of love or one that shows love. We might love nature, but we certainly don't treat it with love or respect, or at least most of us, because of our lifestyles. Our modern lifestyles are very resourceful and exploitative. I think that's the word. Every lifestyle now, especially in the West, exploits nature. From the food packaging, the food we eat, the way we travel and commute, basically the way we live. And nature sort of has gone, nope, I've had enough. I'm not going to let you humans continue exploiting my resources. So this is what you get in return. Hurricanes, floods, droughts, all sorts of big weather events, dangerous weather events, natural, what was the word? Natural hazard? Is that it? Natural disaster, that's it. Natural disaster. Nature has replied to our message with natural disasters. It's almost like you could compare us humans to a bully, and nature, planet Earth, is the victim, the person getting bullied. We've been bullying nature for so long, not just over the decades, but over the centuries, because you've got to remember that climate change began with the rise of the Industrial Revolution, when we started to burn loads of coal. And it's gotten to the point where the victim, the person who's getting bullied, has just snapped back. They've said, no, I've had enough. And they've almost attacked the bully. That's exactly what nature's doing now. That's how I see it. That's what I think it can be compared to. What would you do to calm down a victim of bullying? Wow, I really didn't think I'd be talking about such questions like these. Deep questions. I thought this would be more of a factual podcast, but I'm definitely diving in to a lot more thinking. Well, the first thing you'd have to do is definitely stop bullying the victim. It's like the victim has become so sensitive now, and they've just had enough. They've become so angry. All that built up anger and resentment has just exploded. And now they're trying to attack the bully. You could say, in a sense, that they've switched roles, that we are more of a victim now, and nature is more of the bully. We are the victim and the bully, maybe, because as we are having to deal with the negative impacts of climate change, for example, drought, flood, crop failures, as we are having to deal with those, we are also living lives that are not completely sustainable. And don't get me wrong, this does sound negative, but things are being made for lives to be more sustainable. There are things being done. Plastic is not being constantly derived from fossil fuels. Some plastic is being created from potato starch, for example. I have a little video on that. People are driving electric cars. There's a heated debate about that, though. Things are definitely going in the right direction, but we're not completely there yet. But we will be. I'm telling you, we will be in that direction, because I have woken up. Many people across the world are waking up to the disaster that is happening on Earth, and they have completely disagreed with what is happening. We have completely disagreed with what is happening. We cannot let our day-to-day lives be so costly on the thing that we need the most, the thing that we rely on to survive and thrive. We will not let our modern lives we cannot pay for our day-to-day lives with nature, if that makes sense. It's not an exchange we can make, like, okay, I'm going to live today's life, I'm going to have this for lunch, a sandwich, and to pay for it, I'm paying for nature. I'm paying with nature's health. You throw the plastic away and nature's health declines. We are fed up with that. We are absolutely fed up with seeing plastic everywhere on every shop aisle. Think about this. If you go to the shops, a food shop, supermarket, what are you actually going there for? Like, no, think about this without overthinking. Just straight up. Why are you going to the shops? To get food, right? So you enter the shop, you walk down the aisles, and it can be any aisle. What do you see? You might say food. No, I'm afraid you're wrong. You see plastic everywhere. Plastic's everywhere in every aisle. And this is where the positivity starts to rise up again. Yes, there are definitely paper products being introduced, paper packaging, which is fantastic, but we are still consuming too much plastic. We should not be consuming any plastic because it is harmful for our health and for the environment. So we are not the bullies. We need to stop being the bullies. We disagree to bully nature. We will become best friends with nature. We are best friends with nature. We must look for ways to show our love for nature, almost like a happily married couple. We must have that sort of relationship, not one in conflict, one of love, one of care and devotion.